law on the new theatre remains in force despite the opposition's demand for it to be declared invalid, arguing the SP manipulated last week's vote after the Secretariat for the Procedures in Voting made no change to the results. As she nears the conclusion of her mandate, EU Ambassador Romana Vlahutin could not hide her emotion as she inaugurated the special artwork The Doors, symbolising the mutual support between Albania and the EU. As temperatures begin to rise, drinking water restrictions are also likely to increase as a result of potential droughts, though UKT reports that until now, the water storages are at optimal levels. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Monday the 9th of July 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from around the country translated into English. The opposition boycotted the parliamentary session of the Assembly in protest, claiming that at the last session, the ruling majority manipulated the vote on the new National Theatre. The chairs of the DP and SMI parliamentary groups, Edmond Sparho and Petrit Vasili, attended the Assembly for a few minutes to make public the opposition's position before exiting the Assembly Hall. In these circumstances, Parliamentary Speaker Gramas Rucci ordered that the Secretariat for Procedures and Voting be convened for this issue. Involved as members of the Secretariat, Socialist MPs Adnor Shahmeti, Alket Husseini and Democrat MP Khaled Ali Bey met for more than 1 hour. However, at the conclusion of the meeting, nothing had changed. The Socialist MPs referred to the video footage recorded from the Assembly, which depicts two SMI MPs switching one MP's ballot with another who was not present. The claim was subsequently backed by the chair of the Socialist Parliamentary Group, Talant Bala, while he did not spare allegations. In the absence of participation in the Assembly, the chair of the Democratic Party's Parliamentary Group, Edmond Sparho, reacted on Facebook to Talant Bala's allegations, saying the Secretariat for Procedures and Voting decided in the Prime Minister's interests by defending corrupt affairs. In the absence of the opposition in the Assembly, the Socialist Party withdrew from voting on the law on the status of judges and prosecutors. This law requires 84 votes to enter in force, with the Socialist Party still looking for the support of Lulzim Basha's ally, the Socialist Movement for Integration. The Socialist Party Parliamentary Group Chair, Talant Bala, said that there is communication with the SMI to enable the adoption of this law that opens admission to the School of Magistrates, and it returns the competencies of the High Council of Justice and the General Prosecutor's Office to appoint the judges and prosecutors. Bala means that besides official communications, it is also working to convince special MPs. I am telling you, and I want to be very transparent, to have official communications with the SMI on this issue, but I want to emphasise that we must maintain consistency in our attitudes on a particular issue. On the issue of the School of Magistrates, both the SMI and the DP must remain consistent with what they had 2 years ago, the agreement to continue the accession process. The reason why we are late today is because we had to change an aspect that has to do with the deadline. I believe that in the Albanian Parliament there are European MPs who want justice reform to continue, said Talant Bala. But beyond the optimism of the Socialists, the MP of the Socialist Movement for Integration, Nasib Nacho, again reconfirmed the stand against this initiative. In essence, the two changes to the two articles required by the two MPs of the majority is the fact that, in the absence of the High Council of the Prosecutor's Office and the Supreme Judicial Council, we will go back 180 degrees to once again give the opportunity to the High Council of Justice to make the authority to make appointments of magistrates who need to be appointed back in 2016. I personally, and on behalf of the SMI, have refused to vote on Article 1 that deals with Article 160 on the law on the status of judges and prosecutors, on the grounds that it will once again give the possibility to the HCJ to make appointments in justice. This has been sanctioned by the Socialists and Internationals, causing this council to once again be a barrier to justice reform by authorising nepotistic appointments despite alternative proposals made by Justice Ministers. When I was Justice Minister, I proposed 44 judges to be investigated, from which 24 had requested dismissal, and this was supported in 4 or 5 cases. The same thing happened with the Minister of the Majority. How can the SMI Parliamentary Group, or I, as a former Justice Minister, give the opportunity once again to be a part of these HCJ members, said Nasib Nacho. Nacho said the changes in this law restored the opportunity for political appointments within the justice system. From London, where he held a meeting with the counterparts from the region, Albania's Foreign Minister Ditmir Bushati spoke of the Balkan summit, which takes place on Tuesday. In the presence of regional and EU leaders, this is a very important meeting as, for the first time, it will combine economic issues with those of security. The Albanian diplomat underlined that this moment should be properly utilised. Further, Bushati emphasised the importance of reducing conflicts and disputes between neighbours in the Balkan region. In closing, Ditmir Bushati said that the summit will give priority to young people, focusing on reducing their unemployment and engagement of respective Balkan governments in order to improve the lives of citizens. As her mandate in Albania comes to an end, the EU ambassador to our country, Romana Vlahutin, could not contain her emotion as she returned to Flores seafront, which she described as the most beautiful project the EU has supported in our country. I am very happy to return to this city that has been completely transformed since last year. I remember Commissioner Hahn was here for the inauguration and praised this as the best project the EU has supported in the region. This made me very proud, said Romana Vlahutin. Already, the seafront has seen the addition of artwork by Gentian Tabaku titled The Doors, a project that was also supported by the European Union in an effort to transmit all the symbolism of the link between Albania and the European Union. Further, Ambassador Vlahutin, Prime Minister Edi Rama, elected local leaders, Flores citizens and many vacationers joined together in Vlora for a concert featuring both opera and ballet called Opera in Jeans. This is called The Doors. It is not in reference to the gateway of Albania into the EU, but rather the doors of of Europe into Albania. Thanks for using this space, keeping it clean and caring for that which has been given. I wish you joy on the seafront, exclaimed Romana Vlahutin. The concert comes as a novelty in the calendar of 500 entertainment activities taking place along the coastline. The sources of Bovila, Shanmaria and Salita are in optimal condition for their inflows, favoured by the rain, so that Tirana is offering normal supplies of drinking water this summer. But there are still areas that are limited, like Uzberisht. In the plan of measures for summer and investment, the sales director at Tirana's water supply and sewerage, Elvin Tivari, says that for Uzberisht there will soon be an end to the limitation on drinking water. But citizens need to be aware of not wasting the drinkable water. Since the launch of the drinking water operation in February of this year until now, the task force has carried out 30,000 formalisation verifications and prosecuting 60 individuals who refused to toe the line. In addition to the project for the construction of 20 new schools, the municipality of Tirana is working on existing schools to improve the conditions before welcoming their students in September. One of the schools that underwent reconstruction is the seafront High School, whose students can now study in modern environments. Tirana's Mayor Erion Veliaj said that it is only a matter of time for such investments to be seen in all areas across the capital. Most of Tirana's schools have already been regulated, starting with Chamal Stafa, which was reconstructed from the beginning, adding some classes and 4 to 5 additional areas. It was only a matter of time for seafront to undergo reconstruction as well, said Veliaj. He declared that Tirana has now turned into a construction site where work is being conducted from the centre and spreading out to the rural areas. Veliaj expressed gratitude to individuals and companies that show high social responsibility, contributing to the realisation of a number of community-based investments. We are in a situation where Tirana has returned to a work site, from Skanderberg Square to the most far-away village. In Tirana, we have over 240 educational establishments, schools, kindergartens, nurseries, which means we need a lot of work and staff on the ground. But when we have mutual friends, when we share some responsibilities, it gives us great social pleasure. So I would like to thank you wholeheartedly for your help and generosity, declared Erion Veliaj. In a special assessment, the head of the municipality expressed the gratitude to the teaching staff who make a valuable contribution to the education and formation of the youth of the capital. There is not a person to mark life, as a teacher, or a good teacher points out, which can leave you a trace, a memory that inspires, that may even critique you, but it gives you so much benefit in one moment when you think you are scrupulous. Particular thanks go to all teachers, concluded Erion Veliaj. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.